Hello everyone, Justin here, and got Peso and whiskey with me. We're going to bring you a pretty cool video today. So again, I'm Justin Dunn, American Mustang School. Please like and subscribe if you're liking our videos, want more of them. Appreciate that. Today's video is body awareness in horsemanship. It's probably the most important thing in horsemanship if you really think about it. The inputs that we give to our horses and observe the feedback, be willing to make changes to present again, is the actual feedback loop. And body awareness is real important, and it's got to be practiced so you can develop an awareness to your own body. It's like, what is this left hand doing as this right hand is doing something? Those are inputs. And then vice versa. Your right hand, your left leg, your seat, your spine, your breathing. So we're going to talk about merging movement and breathing together and how important that is to really develop an awareness in what you're presenting to your horses, and then have the truest, honest, feedback come from them. And then you're developing an awareness as you do it. So this is self-study, horsemanship, sacred art. So what we're going to do is, I just picked these two barrels. We're going to do figure eights, and that's simply just a figure eight pattern around the barrels. And we practice moving, breathing, start and stop points, applying pressure with, a rein with your left hand, arm, shoulder, your right leg, you turn out a toe. It exposes your calf muscle to the horse's body. We apply some pressure. And then this helps you develop an awareness of how to increase communication with your horse. See, we can't control them. They're too powerful, 1,000 pounds of muscle. We got to create willingness in them. There's forced compliance, and then there's creating a willing compliance. And the benefits are off the charts. If you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know that this is a mental, physical, spiritual growth process with your horses as accountability partners, as guides. It's really cool. So what I want to do is show you, I might switch horses depending on how much time we have on the video, but I'll start with this little gray horse here. His name is Peso. I'm going to put my bitless bridle on him, no bit. He's been around, had probably 300 different people ride him. So when I ride him, which is rare, I have to present to him what I expect from him, but I have to understand other people have ridden him. They've moved differently, their timing was different, their rhythm was different, their repetition was different. All the pressures and the questions that were asked of him by the last rider, he's had to adapt to. So I need to take that into consideration, be aware of myself. What am I thinking? What am I doing? What am I becoming in this relationship with this horse? I mean, I know him very well. However, a lot of people ride him. So I've got to kind of realign some of the things that we had developed because he had to adapt to someone else. So I'll get him, and then I'll just come to this figure eight, and I'll start asking questions that I know he knows the answers to, and I'll dial in my pressures, with the left rein, my right leg, and I'll monitor myself, my breathing. What am I presenting to my horse? What is the feedback? What changes do I need to make? Present again, and we get into what's called a feedback loop. We understand these laws of nature. If you've watched any of my other videos on laws of nature, we're going to use cause and effect. The cause being my hand applying pressure, the effect, the response, and the horse. Cause and effect. Law of repetition. If I continue to do the same thing over and over, what result am I getting? Do I need to change? How is my spine aligned with his spine? Am I leaning? What's my balance like? These are self-awareness questions, body awareness questions that we have to ask ourselves if we're expecting a realistic expectation from our horse. One of the things that I get asked a lot is, how do I manage fear? Well, you manage fear with body awareness. When you start to feel that gut feeling of something's going to happen, you've got to tap into that energy, and you've got to allow that gut feeling to be the best information to make the best choice for the given situation. How? Well, we practice it. So I'm going to think and become in a safe environment. I'm going to monitor my own body. What is my hand doing? What are my legs doing? Do I need spurs? Do I need a bit? All of these questions get answered. I'm here to tell you, I've been riding for over 2 decades without bits, spurs. They're not needed. No whips. They're just not needed because we do this right here. I understand myself. So self-study. It's the sacred art of horsemanship. Set apart self-study through horsemanship. So let's get started. What I'm going to do, hopefully we're staying in the frame. I've got this little horse here. Come up here, Peso, so we can get in the frame. Come on, buddy. Come on. I'm going to ask him to ground tie here, rub him to a stop. Yeah, I know. We got 40-degree weather today, but the wind's not blowing. The sun's out. Feels pretty good. So bitless bridle. This is going to be the way that I ask him these questions. This is the only bridle that I ride any horse in. So if I switch to the other horse, I'll just take this bridle off and put it on him. So this video really isn't about how to halter and how to bridle a horse, but what I'm going to do is take this bridle or halter off, put this bridle on, but I'm monitoring my breathing through movement. So what do we do in grooming for mindset? Level 1 of our horsemanship here at the school was we monitor ourselves, we monitor our movement, we monitor our breathing. So if I'm moving fast and jerky and short and shallow breathing, I need to develop an awareness to that so I can correct it, because whether you're aware of it or not, your horse is. So if you're presenting to your horse quick, jerky movements, and then your breathing is short and shallow, you are presenting that to him. He's aware of that, even if you're not. So that's why we call grooming for mindset, going inward. Your thoughts, your emotions, your attitude, your action, that's outward. So attitude and action are outward. I know your little eyes are crusty. And thought and emotion are inward. It's 2 pathways of communication with our horses. So if we're in self-study, in the sacred art of horsemanship, we're in self-study, and these are our accountability partners. We have to be willing to change, but we can't really change if we're not aware of what to change. So if I'm moving, with my arms, my hands, in a manner that's creating undesirable responses in my horse, I need to move them differently. Either A, slow them down, or B, speed them up, or maybe less pressure, maybe rhythm and timing are off. We need to synchronize that. All important things. And how do we develop that? Well, we practice it, develop an awareness. So I've got him, I think I've got him cinched up good. Oh no, one more. Good deal. Okay, so cinched up good. I'm going to use a bitless bridle. No spurs, just a slick heel, what we call it. And before I get up here, I want to show you one thing that I always do to present something to my horse. I consciously do it, but I don't let others see that I'm doing it. I'll check in with myself and realize what my left hands are doing, right hands are doing, my left foot, right foot. And I'm going to ask him a specific question before I mount up. I'm going to ask him, are you with me? And I'll just simply fingertip pressure, ask with a bridle. If he gives to that, that bitless bridle, he's nice and soft. I didn't use many ounces of pressure. And he said yes. So then I'll go ahead and mount up, toe in the stirrup and come on up. And this saddle is someone else rode in, so it's not adjusted quite right, but that's okay. And then once I'm up here, I'm going to check in with myself, maybe take a breath of air, before I ask him to move anywhere. And maybe I'll ask him a right lateral, just that's more of a vertical, but that's okay. Just, are you with me? Yes. Then I'll step on the gas. I will pick up a rein in the direction I want to go, and then the gas pedal being a leg pressure to go. So if I tip the nose in the right, direction, he's doing it without a rein, and then I'll turn a toe out, and it simply just exposes my calf muscle to his side of his body, and then I can apply the pressure with the calf muscle. And I can increase the intensity of that calf muscle so he feels it, bump on it a little bit, and then get moving. As we're moving and walking, I'll release that pressure. Then I'll apply a right rein and a left leg to go around this barrel here. And what I want to do is see how soft, go ahead, buddy. See how soft I can ask this horse questions, because I don't want to be fatigued after the ride. I'd like to be refreshed, and I want the same for my horse. So it's just simply turning toes out, pick up a rein with the right hand, turn a toe out. If you feel your calf muscle just exposed to the side of that horse, and that's all he needs, maybe you could bump a little bit if he stalls out. These are kind of tight turns for this horse. We could have spread the barrels to get more of a sweeping turn, but to stay in the frame, I've got him close. But it's that toe is out, and I can bump on that right side of his body and then release the pressure in the legs. Right rein, left leg. Breathe. And then we'll go left rein, right leg. And I just turned the toe out there. I didn't really need to do much. Now I need to bump and then release the pressure as he gets going again. And this starts developing body awareness with yourself. Like, I am monitoring myself, my right hand, my left foot, my right arm, my left leg, my left arm, my right leg. And I'm giving inputs to the horse as needed. Keep going, buddy. And then we can practice this to where we start merging breath and movement. Sorry for kissing into this microphone. I do give kisses at my horses to get them going a little bit more. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to bring him around and see each turn I get to learn something. How much pressure was needed on this right rein? How much pressure was needed on this left leg? Do I need to go tighter, more deliberate, give him a cue? Do I need to do less? We went too tight. Those all reveal themselves as you do it. So you learn through experience. So no leg pressure and just a left rein to stop, which is a one rein stop. So I apply that left rein only, no legs, until the feet stop moving and it gives into a lateral flexion and then release as a thank you. And then we wash, rinse, repeat that. We're developing an understanding of what means what. I know how much pressure with a leg. I know how much pressure with a hand to get the desired responses. And then we practice this. And this isn't the only place you can practice it. You can practice it out there on other obstacles. And then when you're pretty confident, fear is not a factor. You can go out into the real world, which is our level 5, real world focused riding. And you know what your body's doing with your horse. So on this breathing exercise, when I come to a stop, I'll draw in a breath as I draw in a rein. And then at the top of that breath, release the rein, release the breath. So it probably didn't synchronize just then, but that's what I'm doing. So draw in a breath, draw in a rein, release the breath, release the rein. Now that may have looked as far as breath and how fast he does that, but you don't have to breathe fast in movement. I can breathe in, I can just hold that breath, I can release him, I can release that breath, release my shoulders, relax my hips, relax my legs. So in classes, I teach people, when you breathe in, you're setting yourself up for a body response of relaxation. Same thing with horses. When they start to get mental and physical tension from inputs from us, we can trigger a body response of relaxation so that they can release the tension in the body. The brain's monitoring the body. So when the body relaxes and the heart starts beating right and the breathing stabilizes, the brain monitoring that, it releases tension. The brain, mental tension is released. So the thoughts and the emotions in the horse can stabilize. Thoughts and emotions in a person stabilize. And then the attitude and action can quickly change and present. So attitude, action. Reflections in our bodies are what is going on in our mind, what we're thinking. So if I'm jerking on this horse and I'm kicking on him, or I use equipment that causes a horse pain to force him to submit, to perform in a certain way at a certain time without proper preparation, I can really start to create mental tension, physical tension in the horse. What comes next? Resentment, rebellion, bolting, bucking, rearing, all the undesirable behaviors that we don't want, those will present. So what I do want, what is it that we're doing this for? Why? Well, self-study, become better. So wherever you think and do, you become. Whatever I'm thinking and doing, I'm becoming. That's my character. Whatever he's thinking and doing, he's becoming. That's his character. That's why I can let lots and lots of people ride him. We've already set the stage mentally, physically, spiritually for this horse to understand what his place is in the world, in the human element. It's like, oh, we learn through experience, and I've enjoyed all these experiences over and over to where I learn that I contribute to life enrichment. So all of my students that ride this horse, that's what the baseline of understanding is. Hey, we're in this for self-study because it is the sacred art of horsemanship. It is set apart. It's not like every other horse program. It's set apart for self-study. It's the sacred art of horsemanship, horse-human relationship. So I wanted to merge breathing and movement in this video for you and give you an idea of how it works. We'll take a, if you got time and you're still watching, we'll take Whiskey here. We'll park Peso. Come on around here. Come on around here, buddy. A little bit more. A little bit more. So that's a left rein, right leg. Now just a rein. Relax. We'll come on down. And I'll ask him to back up. And I'm just going to, I'll show you guys. I'll just kind of exaggerate this. I would just apply light pressure on his bridle, his little bitless bridle here. And we'll just fingertip pressure. And we'll just bump on that, just to back him up right there. Good deal. And then we'll ground tie. And that's basically a question because he can feel those reins on the ground. We'll untie our, and I hope I'm in the frame, but maybe I'm not. Untie our halter. And I really just enjoy making these little videos for you. I thought about editing a lot of stuff out, but it's important because sometimes you get to see such an aspect of horsemanship when there's so much editing. Sometimes changing a halter can allow you to trigger a body response of relaxation in yourself. When your feet hit the ground, you start to get grounded. You can take a breath, you can relax, you can slow down. You can allow processes that you just did to catch up. You can go on a walk with your horse. I call it a decompression walk, where you don't always have to be doing something, in the saddle. You can actually get on the ground, communicate with your horse. So what I just showed you, moving and breathing and allowing those to merge together in your relationship, that can be done on the ground. I could have led that horse through that little pattern there, figure eights. And we could have done the same thing where, that's probably a good demo with Whiskey, is stay there, Peso, is where you just go for a walk and do the turns and pay attention to what your hands are doing. Are you jerking on your horse on the halter? Is he jerking on you? Are you doing things? In fact, let's just do that. I mean, I can show you the exact same thing I just showed you with Peso, but let me just show you on the ground. Surprise! I wasn't even planning to do that, but we'll do that. So you're on the ground. What are your hands doing with this rope? Are you consciously aware of your rope? So this is a 12-foot rope. It can be a lot of rope to manage. But if I consciously aware of what my hands are doing with my rope and with my horse, I'm developing better communication because I'm not going to give him inputs that I'm not aware of. So if I take off walking and he's not there, I would know because my rope would get tight. But do I need to pull on him to get going? No. If I come to the center instead of a lateral flexion and I just take a deep breath, relax, drop my shoulders, relax my hips, relax my legs, and then go again, but don't pull on the rope. I mean, I can feel that it got a little tension on it, but he came, so it's not like I need to jerk him along to go. Kind of one of those things. Develop an awareness. How do we do it? We practice. So I'm going to ground tie him, and I'm going to ask this horse to back up where he was supposed to be. So we'll just start soft, increase the intensity of the question. We'll back him up. We'll watch his little hooves. We want to get let's get one good step, and we're going as heavy as we need to go to get him back where he needs to go, and then we'll ground tie him out there. And he just wants to be with us, so he didn't do anything wrong. I asked him to stand there ground tied. You know, the rope is a question. That pressure is a question. The release of that is a thank you. And he's telling me the truth. Does he want to stand there? Yes. If he's standing there, he wants to. If he's not, he doesn't want to. Well, what is he doing? He's trying to come to me. Is that bad? Value judgment, good or bad? It's not. It's not either one. It's information. He wants to be with us. I'd rather him want to be with us than not. So anyway, back to this practice. You can practice on the ground, and then this adaptability. See, willing to change for your horses. You know, if we're self-study, we're watching ourselves. I am watching me. What are my hands doing? What are my legs doing? You know, if I'm just turning out a toe to apply leg pressure, I'm not kicking him. I'm consistently turning a toe out and applying pressure. It almost naturally happens for me. If I turn a toe out, I'm already kind of applying calf muscle pressure. So I really don't do much. But if I'm not aware of that, I may be kicking my horse, you know, a big punch, and then desensitizing him. Then, you know, it leads up to, well, he won't listen. Well, you've been beating on his sides, you desensitized him. But if you turn out a toe and you apply a calf muscle and you increase the tension or the intensity of the bumping of your calf muscle, you can always roll a heel in and give a bump. So there's like steps up to the intensity. So if you adapt to different horses and say, this horse only needed me to just turn a toe out. He already knows what that means. No need to go any heavier. So ride him for 6 hours and I just turn toes out. Just simple turning toes out. That's the communication. I could do that for 6 hours all day. No problem. I'm not going to get a hamstring tension, you know, cramp. I'm going to just turn a toe out, and he turns. It's so nice. I can pick up on a rein, one hand. He turns. I don't need to jerk his face off. I don't need to put in a bit and force him pain to submit to that. Now you practice this enough, you start thinking it, and then you intend to do it, but he already does it. So you don't even have to do it. You thought it. It happened. We'll step up into that in another video. I'll have to utilize Cinnamon to really give you the visual of that. And guys, just be aware, body awareness in horsemanship is really, really important. That's what this video is about. This horse can only perform at the level I come up to in awareness of what the inputs are that I'm giving to him. A lot of people will depend on equipment. Oh, I need a bigger bit. Oh, I need sharper spurs or pointy spurs, or, you know, I need this tie down. I need all this stuff. I'm here to tell you, you can practice this little basic stuff with your horse. Wash, rinse, repeat. You know, all the experts, they drill the basics. And I'm not saying drill it to where he's bored out of his mind and he doesn't enjoy it. I'm talking about he knows it subconsciously. You've done it so much consciously. You've brought into awareness yourself and the horse. They know what to expect. It's like a well-oiled machine when you guys get together. You just move and he responds and you flow. It's where your skill and your experience have come up for the challenges to not be something too big. They're easily overcome. Then you develop that awareness. You've learned through experience that individual, and then you can take that and go to another individual, and then another and another. So I have 8 different horses here, and I can instantly synchronize up with them because of this, what I'm explaining, body awareness and horsemanship. What are my hands doing? What are my legs doing? How am I breathing? What timing? You know, what pressure, what timing? And that's what feel is. How do we feel these different horses? Proper pressure, the proper time for proper response. Now there's some more into it that comes, you know, rhythm, vibration. What are you vibrating at? Are you excited? Are you bored? You know, all of these little factors come in, but how do we know? Body awareness. You feel it in your gut, pay attention to that. It's valuable information. It's like 2 brains. Your brain and your gut are giving you information to develop another higher awareness of yourself. And that's sacred art of horsemanship. So that leading exercise that we did, you may have not got a real good glimpse. So I'll ask him to come up here closer to the camera. if I am consciously aware of myself, and I put one foot in front of the other and I start walking, I have this lead rope in my hand. He's like, I'm going to. I have this lead rope in my hand. I really don't need to push it, pull it, yank on it, anything. In fact, if I've done enough with these horses, I can still ask him to come with me without a lead rope. So it's really cool whenever you practice over and over to where, yeah, I've got the lead rope if I need it. This lead rope asked this horse to stand ground tied. This lead rope, I didn't really even need it. It's there if I do. So the point I'm trying to make is the equipment that you're using, depend on it less and less as time goes on. In other words, I've got a lead rope, I've got a bridle, I've got a saddle, I've got all this equipment, but I depend on it less and less as time goes on. A saddle is great for tying stuff on and taking gear with me, but riding bareback, you should be able to do that. You should be able to balance enough to not depend on your saddle for balance. That's just a quick explanation of that. These horses, they're highly intelligent. I never want to insult their intelligence. So I don't need to take a horse like this and pull on his bridle, pull on his reins, pull on his lead rope. He doesn't pull me around. Why should I pull him around? I can create willingness in the horse by maintaining my body awareness and what I'm presenting to him, asking him these questions. Wash, rinse, repeat. And it is a sacred art of horsemanship, because that is a therapeutic value that'll spill over into 5 areas of your life that I'm going to make another video on. I'll go through them just real quick. 5 areas of your life that will be enhanced through horsemanship: your health, your wealth, your happiness, your relationships, your spirituality. And this right here is where I come to study myself to enhance my life in all 5 areas that everybody wants. So I owe a debt of gratitude to Whiskey here, Peso. Hopefully we're in the frame. These guys helped me out with this video today. Please like and subscribe. Our little channel's growing. We just reached over 1,000. That's pretty cool. And had some audio problems with the microphone. Just got a new microphone. Hope it's doing good. Type in the comments if you can hear us real well. And cool, we're on track, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll bring you more videos. Say bye-bye, Whiskey. Say bye-bye, Peso. Bye-bye.